Tuesday.
Hello, we're
Hi,
here.
John.
Hi, John. Welcome. Another live.
Another live about that. We cannot hear you, John.
Yeah, oh, you're muted, I think.
Again. How are you gentlemen doing today?
Very
Very
good.
good. Nice to see you.
Are you ready to do the live about that?
Live about that. Exactly. All your deaths, all the past lives. Live.
About that.
Yeah, exactly. So, welcome to everyone here. Let's first of all make sure that we're good on sound. I'm going to check on my side.
Yes. Check.
I'm going to mute me for a second while I listen, checking it as well.
Okay. So let's see. Let's see.
Yeah.
Can you hear us? Can you? If you are online with us, find the chat and let us know. Yes, Anna. Hello. Live about that. This one is already starting off awesome. Yes. Hi,
Yeah.
Lorna. Adin, perfect. Thank you. Mariah.
Hey, my
Yes,
love.
hear you. The sound
Awesome.
is great and picture is even better. Wow.
Amazing. Yes.
And
Awesome.
Bridget, hi, perfect. And Teresa, ha 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 ha. Nice to see your shoulders. Harold,
Yeah.
hello.
Hi, hi.
Okay.
Amazing. So today we're talking about a subject that has been,
Life about that.
yeah, live about death, live about death, live about your past lives. And it's all about obviously the subject of have you lived before, and which is, I think, a super hot topic in general. Lots of curiosity around that. Some people feel like they have this intuition that there was something they can't quite know if it's true or not. Some people don't think they've lived at all and that they'll never live again.
Some prefer not to know.
Yeah, some prefer. Yeah,
It's better
exactly.
not to
Yeah,
remember.
exactly.
Some people are actively not living at all right now anyway, so what's the difference?
Yeah, yeah, that's also true. So there's so much to talk about, but John, I'll definitely let you kind of take the lead with some of the questions, and I'll bounce in here and there. But you can kick it off.
Excellent. Thank you. So I kind of thought the simplest way to go about it was just one of the things that I hear a lot in the US and in society over here, Western civilization, is you only live once. And so, it doesn't matter what you do because there's nothing that's going to, like, there's no repercussion. There's nothing that happens to you if you do something good or bad. It tends to lead to a very materialistic society. Like, how did we get to this point where that became the point of view that was, dare I say, the default viewpoint?
Okay. So yes, most people think that they only live once, and they hope they will not get what they deserve when they die.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Uh,
But let's look at the subject. Okay. So first of all, to understand life and to understand past life, we need to understand life. If I want to understand past life, I need to understand life. And life can be said to be the ability to know. You are as alive as you know. The spirit is this thing that know, and you are as alive as you know. When you don't know, you don't alive. You are not alive. If you are in coma, technically the body is alive, but you are not alive. So you
right.
are as alive as you know. And what happens is, if the spirit is this thing that you know, when you die, what you say is I don't want to know anymore. So how does it happen? Is that you live life and you accumulate more and more and more experience, and this experience is really all the things that didn't work for you, all your limitations. And as you live, you see that regardless of who you are, you dream a bit less, and you dream a bit less, and you dream a bit less, and you dream a bit less. And when you cannot dream anymore, you die. In order to live, you need to dream. In order to dream, you need to know. So when you die, you basically say, I don't know. And at that moment, what happened is this thing that do know realize that it does know, and you come back. You pick up another body. But you really have to get that Life, if you actually the one that know has no duration. No has no duration.
What do you mean?
Let's have a look at something, okay? Let's do something. So we need to understand this thing first of all if we are to understand this whole concept. Okay,
The weapon of mass instruction.
yeah. So here is the weapon. So if this is the beginning, okay, the beginning only mean was not here before. So the beginning of iPhone was in
2007 or
2007.
6,
So
yeah.
2005 there was no iPhone. Yes. So beginning mean was not here before, and this is time. Okay, and assume that you have only one lifetime. Okay, so you started here. Okay, and you live and you die. Okay.
Hmm.
Now, this area here, we can call this area the physical universe, okay? And this area is composed of twos. So you've got 2, 4, 16, etc. It composed of two. If something is in this universe, the smallest number is 2. You cannot find anything that is smaller than 2. You cannot find something that is 1. Why? Because for every plus there is minus, for every force there is counterforce. There is the one as an idea, but not a physical thing. Okay, a physical thing is always composed of twos. So if the physical universe is composed of twos and it started here, it means that what started the two cannot be composed of two, because we said the beginning mean was not here before, which means if this is my iPhone, what created the iPhone is not an iPhone. Okay? We call this physical universe or something is anything that composed of two, and nothing is anything that is not composed of two. Now, in the physical universe, you can see that it doesn't admit of nothing. There is no place that it's total zero, total vacuum, total zero. So the physical universe is composed of twos, and what created the physical universe is nothing. So nothing brought about something. Exactly.
Just like that.
Just like that. Ta-da. Nothing brought about something. This nothingness that can bring about somethingness is this thing, it's total knowingness, it's total potential. You can say that knowingness is total potential. Now, nothing has no duration, so nothing cannot die. The only thing that can die is something that has duration. Duration you have only in the physical universe. So, have you lived before? Will you live again? The question is not really accurate because spiritually there is no before and after. You understand? Spiritually, there is no before or after, because spiritually is nothing. There is no time, spiritual wise.
That's interesting.
So you, the spirit, don't have time. You're timeless, which means that it's not that you actually lived before. You are. You are, and you just take different forms. You decide, okay, today I'm taking a body, and tomorrow I'm taking a different form. So you really, the spirit do not die. The body die. The mind can die because it's a physical thing. The mind is a series of pictures. It's a physical thing. The mind can die. The mind can stop. The stones can stop existing. Yes,
Right.
Any one of those things can stop, but you cannot because you don't have duration. So actually, no one lived before, but everyone always live.
I like
So
it.
that's really what's happening.
Amazing.
Does it
Amazing
make
answer.
sense? We
Yeah,
cannot
it,
hear you.
Yeah.
Now we
yeah.
can hear you.
how did it get to a place where we were convinced that this body it can live or die, or that we are the body? I guess that's the more accurate
Okay.
question.
So actually, if you look at the history of man, you'll see that the history of man, regardless if you are religious or not, if you are religious, is 5,000 years. If you're not religious, millions of years. If you are Jewish, it depends on which year makes you money.
Yeah.
And that's-
What's the more profitable answer?
what's the more profitable answer?
Yes.
But regardless of how you look at that, most of the history of man knew that he lived before, that he's a spirit, that he's not his body. And hence, historically, you say, my body, the body that belonged to me. So you are not your body. Now, when a person becomes the effect of something, he starts to think that he is the something. When a person becomes the effect of something for a long, long time, he starts to believe that he is the something. So what happened was that you took a body, and it was very clear to you at the beginning, you're taking on a body, you're taking it for the sensation, you're taking it because you wanted to protect the body. We can explain why a person take a body. But you took a body and you used the body like a car. You used the body, the car got old, you threw the car away, you got a new car, nicer model, and then another car. And the difference between cars and body, that you pay for cars, and for bodies you don't pay. They give it to you for free. Yes, you just convince two people to make one, and they give it to you, and then they take care of you.
It's a good deal.
It's a good deal.
Yeah.
But it's definitely for free, at least for the beginning years.
Yeah.
So you get it for free. That's the difference between a car and a body, really. That's all. And you take the body, and you have now two options. You have the option of a person that become the effect of the body, and so he will start to serve the body. And you take the spirit that has the viewpoint that the body is something to use. So it uses the body. It doesn't mean that you don't take care of your body, but you use the body. So instead of worshipping the body, instead of being a slave to the body, you use the body. But most people over time, because the body is fragile and it gets sick and it gets all kind of things, people says, well, the spirit is responsible. So when you take responsibility for the body, if the body gets sick or things go wrong, you start to say, well, I didn't take care enough of it. So you take more care enough of the body, and more care and more care. And every life cycle, you take more care of the body until eventually the body is the boss and you are the slave.
Yeah.
It's quite amazing.
Absolutely. That's very amazing.
Yeah.
I see there's some comments and
Yeah.
questions.
Let me go through them. I wanted to just make sure that was
Does
answered.
the
So
mind die with the body or not? So the mind is something that the spirit put together, and the spirit can decide to let it go or not. It's like a body. You can decide to let it go. There are some people that die that are still connected to their body. That's why in old religions you see that body got cremated, so there is nothing to be attached to. That's why people cremate the body. So there's nothing left for the spirit to stay attached to, so you don't get stuck for 200,000 years waiting for a body that's gone.
oh, I didn't know that was
That's
the reasoning behind
yeah,
it.
that's
Oh,
the
wow.
reasoning behind it. So
Okay.
there's nothing, and that's why they spread the ash, so the spirit cannot go and pick up every
Yeah.
piece,
Yeah.
put it back
Put it back together. Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay.
So the spirit can decide to keep the mind or not, but the mind is a physical thing, and if the spirit don't create it, it dies. You can see that in a day that you have a good day, you've got no past. You see the future, everything is beautiful, the sun is shining, the birds are singing, and everything is beautiful because you don't create this mind.
Right.
But then you get married and you create the mind.
It comes with a massive hard drive.
Exactly.
Indestructible. Yes. Yeah, it makes sense. But for the average person, when they die, do they carry their mind with them to the next
Yes,
life,
because
right?
that's the only thing that left for them. So they lost so much. So the only thing that they can carry with them is the lie, which called the mind, because the mind is a lie, because it's different time, different place. It's not the actual thing. It's a picture of something that you create, and you keep creating it. So every time you create it a little bit different, that's why your past, if you look at your past, it changes all the time, because you look at what happened a year, 10 minutes ago, and it looks in one way, and then you look at that 5 years later and you have a totally different view of it. It's a lie, because it's not the original. A
Right.
lie means a departure from the original, a
Right.
change from the original.
Yeah, amazing, amazing. And Lorna said makes total sense. Margaret said brilliant explanation. Anna, lots of ha-has for sure. And Anna also asked, so would it be more correct to ask, did I have a different form before this one, instead of asking, did I live before, as I never really died?
That's very smart, Anna. And yes, you had many forms, and there are different type of bodies in this universe and other universes. And you had bodies, you had dolls, you had different things that you used before. Yes, definitely.
And Facebook user here says, yes, see that for sure. And now I know why I like cremation. And Teresa said, haha. And from Housewife to Pilot asked, Mayor, how about memories from a person? Where will the data end up?
I don't understand the question.
How about memory from a person? Where will the data end up? Yeah, I don't fully get the question.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Clarify that for us and we'll read that out. Okay.
Okay, good.
John,
Next question.
back to you.
Okay. So I know we've clarified that the spirit doesn't actually die. The point of view, though, is that how
We
can
live also. The spirit doesn't actually live also. The spirit is. It has no continuation. It's just the thing that, no, it's a potential. It can bring about something out of nothing. And if you are religious, you know that God brought about something out of nothing, and you are part of God. You created in the image of God. So you have this quality of, I can bring something out of nothing.
that in and of itself is an amazingly powerful point of view. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's quite a different view that I actually haven't really thought with, which was that there isn't time for the spirit. I mean, I know that, but with this kind of context, so then what is a past life? It's like there's not really past lives. There's just
past life.
past
It's just
bodies.
there are past bodies, like Anna said, there's past
Yes.
forms that you take, but
Right.
there is no past life. And the problem of people is they heard this concept of past life, and they try to find a past life, and you will never find past life, because there's no past life. What you need to do is to recover your ability to know, not your ability to remember, because remembering, you can remember only lies, so you don't discover anything. So the more lies you have, the less you will know. So by trying to recover past life, what you actually do, you put past life away, because you're lying and you become less knowing. So the way to know different past forms is to realize that you know, and the only thing that you need to actually recover is the ability to know, the ability to be source. You are the source. You need to recover that ability.
Super amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so that kind of fits in. I know we got the answer, the rephrased question, but I want, like, how would somebody that this is a brand new idea to, how would they be able to, like, how can it be more real to them? Like, what are ways that they can understand that this is something that is real, that they have these, that they had these things happen in the past from their point of view?
Yeah. So first of all, you know your name. There are things that you know. You don't need data. You just know. You learn how to play guitar. You know how to play guitar. So the spirit has this ability to know. And every time that you actually demonstrate this ability to know, what the end result is, a good result. And every time that you rely on memories or on the past, the result is actually bad result. If people will rely on the past told you that you cannot fly. When did someone fly? Why do we fly? Because someone said, "The hell with the past. Of course, we can fly. I don't care if no one flown so far. I don't care if everything that you live is falling. We can fly." He just knew that we can fly. So all the progress is not the result of research and not the result of anything else other than one person that had the split moment of I know, and now it took him a lifetime to prove that it's actually right, which means to convince everyone else that he is right, because the fact is the current majority agreement. But the actual creation happened with the idea, yes, we can fly. That's it. The moment that this idea happened, it will come about in the physical universe. Just a matter of pushing through intention. So you've got the idea and then the intention. Okay?
Yeah.
So this is the first thing. Second is if you look at people that born with a talent, where this talent come from? A child 2 years old that live in a small Arab village in Israel or Druze village in Israel, that no one around speaks English, can speak at the age of 2 perfect British English. Now, let's say he was listening to Israelis, he will not have British accent. I can tell you for sure, we have a very nice accent, we have the proper accent, but it's not the British accent. So where is he coming with the British accent? The child, 2 years old, only Arab, like no one speak their English.
It's a true story. There are no TVs, no nothing.
TV, no nothing. And the guy speak English with British accent, and he knows everything in English, but in Arabic, his in mother tongue, he cannot speak. Like he speaks slowly. He learns like a normal 2 years old. He learns to speak this is a car, a box, whatever. They learn the basic words.
Yeah.
A wife.
Yeah. The basics.
Basic words.
Yeah. No, it's an amazing true story. Yeah. So those are the types of scenarios that you see people are like.
I was at 3 years old, and I opened a radio, and I just knew electronic. I knew what's wrong with it. I opened the radio, took the vacuum tube, took it to my father, and told him, "Look, this vacuum tube is broken." And my father said, "How do you know it's that vacuum tube and not something else?" I said, "How do you know your name?" "What do you mean?" "When you know, you know." It was very clear to me that when I know, I know. You don't need to explain it. When you try to explain, you already don't know. If you feel that you need to explain to yourself something, you don't know. If I need to explain to myself how to play guitar, I don't know how to play guitar. The moment that I know, I just know. I don't need to explain. I don't ask why, how, blah, blah, blah. I just know it. So that's number 2. So you will see that there are, just if you will observe, you will see that actually you know. And there are lots of stories that knows. And there's another thing, that you've got a body, and the body is a mechanical thing. I think everyone will agree that you are not your body. Yes, because when I cut my nails, I don't become less me. But if I was my body, every time I cut my nails, I would change. Obviously, it's not what's happening. Every time I cut my hair, I would change. If I lost a hand, then it's not me. Of course, it's still me. Mm-hmm. So you are not your body, yes? So once you realize that you are not your body, what actually get this body to know that the heart needs to start beating? Where is this thing coming from? Why, when you die, the body stop growing? What is this thing that the person die and get the body to say, okay, fine, from now on, we are not growing. From now on, we are deteriorating. The thing that makes the body grow, the things that make the body live, the things that the source of life is you. It's not your blood. It's definitely not your doctor. It's definitely not the pills that you take. The source of life is you. You decide and you can. It's really all about your viewpoint. It's just about your viewpoint. It's just you decide, and so it happens. You're the boss. Let's look at
Amazing.
the comment.
Amazing. Yes. So let me just scroll up slightly here. So the question earlier that the person rephrased,
Yes.
right? So it says, we have a memory in our mind, and after we die, how does the memory end up?
Oh, so the memory don't go away. They're there, but they're not accessible to you, and they're there not because they're there physically, because you know. Physically, the physical thing, the memory, like the body, broke down. It's not there anymore. But you, the spirit, you know. So for you, there's no time. You really have to get this concept of the spirit has no time. So your memories, the actual pictures, shutters, go away. You cannot find these pictures. You cannot look at those pictures anymore. You cannot find them. You can actually measure a person that died, and you can see that the moment that he died, he loses some weight. Most people think that it's the spirit. It's not the spirit living, because the spirit has no weight. The spirit is not physical. It's the memories that goes away. This is the way that goes away. This is the pictures that actually have a mess. And you can take a person that's alive and put him on a very accurate scale in a clean room, and you can ask him to think about the bad thought, and the scale will go up. And you ask him to think about good thought, and the scale will go down. And it's quite amazing, because those pictures have actual weight, few grams.
Yeah,
So
I've
what
actually
goes away?
I've seen that on my scale here at home. Like if I'm looking at positive things, I weigh less than if I'm looking at the negative that's going on around me. I've physically checked it, and it's incredible how much variation there actually can be. It
Yeah.
it's pretty interesting.
100%. So when you die, physically, your mind goes away. But since you created it, you know. And the interesting thing, when you know, this is just a little bit of a concept, but when you know, what you put there will define the past and the future. That's why the past is totally changeable when you know. Not the events, but when you know. Because if you decide that something is different, it is different. Time travel is actually about the ability to recreate a moment. It's the ability to know. Everything is with the ability to know. And the mistake is that you try to move physically. You don't move physically. Physically, you're stuck in a game that has a very specific time, very stubborn time. It doesn't change. And a time is just the result of irresponsibility. Every time you drop responsibility for a moment, it becomes a time. Every time you drop responsibility for a moment, it becomes a time. Because if you're fully responsible for something, it doesn't have a continuation.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing. So when you die, essentially, your mind actually, for that body at that moment, it's gone.
Yeah, it's
And
physical
then,
thing. It's like your body.
Yeah.
It's deteriorate. It's deteriorate because there's no one else, no one that will put it there, which means that your mind is totally under your control. That's why you can change your mind.
yeah, I always thought of it as think of kind of like a bucket, okay, with pictures, and that the spirit, let's say, yes, creates, but the body dies, and the spirit carries on with their bucket or their sack or whatever onto the next form.
No.
So it continues. But you're saying that bucket, that sack is over. You take a new form and you put the mind there again.
You put the mind there again because that's what worked for you. It's like you go from one job to another. You threw the office, you threw this, but you come to the new office and you start to recreate it, the file structures and the folders, and
I see.
the same thing. You will work it the same way,
I see.
but you recreate it.
Amazing.
That actually leads into the next question that I had, because like when I'm looking at this, you see that these things that we do take with us. The mind, yes, it shatters, however you want to describe it, as gone, but we know, and we bring that with us. So like that kind of, it it cancels the idea that, well, if you only live once, what you do doesn't matter. Well, because you have a perfect recording machine that actually is telling you, what you did, good or bad, from your point of view.
Yeah. So what's happened is like that. So the mind is gone, and yes, but the spirit, when you die, you have total potential, yes, and you'll see the talent is really a moment that you didn't recreate. It's not that you remember how to play piano; is you know how to play piano. If you need to remember, you don't. It's not that you look at your mind and you say, "Oh, I know how to play. I remember how to play." No. I now know jiu-jitsu. You just know. You don't really learn it. You understand? You just know. Actually, this talent is not that you look at pictures and you recover some of your pictures and now you look at the pictures. No, that's being total slave. No, it is moments that you dropped part of your mind that you didn't bring with you, so you can't, so you know. It's totally the opposite of what most people think.
Yeah, definitely.
Totally different. And that's why people couldn't regain those so-called memory, because they're gone. They're gone. The only thing that you can regain is your ability to know. So why don't you know? Because you have all kind of things that block you from knowing, that tells you that you don't know. So the thing to really realize that there's no past life. There's you. You don't bring with you the memories. You bring with you blockage from memories, blockage from knowingness, not memories. And the only time that people have amazing talent like Mozart or someone that just born that he can play piano and be the amazing composer or whatever is because he has a section that he decided that he's not going to rely on what he's done in the past. And so he knows he's not relying on those past pictures and past viewpoint. And the way that you are held in place is by every time you die, you get convinced, and we will not get into the whole mechanism right now, but you get convinced that you lost so much. So you need to recreate whatever you can. And what can you recreate is your mind. So you're born with a mind that is not accessible to you because it's not there. But you're putting it there. Are you with me? So it's affecting you because it's not accessible to you, because you consider it's not accessible to you. But you know it's there, so it's affecting you.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing answers. That's wild.
Yes.
Really incredible. So, okay, there's a few questions. So let me go through and some of these points. So, wow. Okay, hold on. We missed quite a few. So, okay, first of all, Lorna said, wow, I love the accuracy. And Margaret said, wow. Eva, wow, this is amazing to know, not to try to remember. Yeah, Jenna said, amazing. Lorna, amazing. Adine asked, how can we help someone important to delete invalidate data so he can understand that his knowingness, even if that person is not even ready to listen?
So what you need to do is to make him right, so he doesn't have to be wrong, so he doesn't have to be right. So when a person use memory, he's using memory in order to make himself right, because when he died, he was so wrong. What does it mean to die? How wrong can you get? Dead wrong. And what you do because you were so wrong, you use the only thing that you can, you recreate those memories to tell you that you were right. And you come to this new lifetime and you still try to be right about 20,000 lifetimes ago.
Amazing.
And the key is because you didn't realize that you actually know, and someone convinced you to use your memories.
Amazing. Bridget said, love this, Harold. Amazing. Tressa, so true. Good point. Bridget said, where are we between different lives or between forms?
Okay, so there's a whole section of in between lives, which I will not go into right now. Number one, because it's it requires a little bit more of an explanation, and number two, because it will not be real to most people. You need to experience it at least once before it will actually be real to you. But there is an area between life. There is a process that the spirit goes through, which generally install for the spirit a purpose, and at the same time it installed to the for the spirit a limitation. So you have a strong purpose and you have a limitation, so you cannot win. So you basically set up in this lifetime or in any lifetime, you are set up to not win. And so people will tell you, I cannot win, I cannot win, I cannot win. You are right, you cannot win, but you can if you know that you know. And if you stop relying on data, stop relying on facts, and you start knowing, you will win in that way.
Amazing. And
June.
Edin said, thank you, sir. I understand. Yeah, there was a few more here, though. Okay. I'm going to jump through a few because we've answered a few of these. Okay, Arjuna, what about pleasant memories? For example, the birth of your child. Is there a way to take that to another body?
So all of those memories, every single thing of this memory is something that you create. You cannot take the pictures, but you know. The only reason why someone wants to take something with him is because he thinks he cannot create it. The only reason people have problem with money is because they think they cannot recreate money. But if you have a printing machine at home of money, you wouldn't mind if you burned $1 billion because you can just press the button and print more billions. So the only reason someone wants to keep something because secretly they believe that it's expirable. And true, the memories are expirable, but the person that creates the memories is not. So you can create any memory that you want because everything is an illusion.
Amazing.
I'll just drop this little nugget. Oh, everything's just an illusion.
Yeah, just by the way, this will be a massive live stream if we don't rein this in. We gotta keep the beast under control here.
I mean, we've already been going for 38 minutes, and I've got to 3 questions, and we still have a lot more comments to answer. Also, I'm like,
yeah, I know. I want to go through 1 or 2 comments, but just before we do, there's also great questions here. So just before we do, it is a huge subject.
Yes.
When, where, how do people learn more about it? Because there is something coming.
Yes. So I'm going to do a whole 7 days seminar about past lives and the body. So it's actually 2 seminars, one the body and one past lives. And it will happen in Canada, in Toronto. The date is not closed yet, but because I'm trying to make sure that all our key students can arrive, and we have one student that she's pregnant and she's beautiful and she's amazing. So I want to make sure that she can come, and so probably it will happen in the first or second week of August,
Right.
and it will happen in Canada. If you are interested, if you want to know more, write to me. I think info@gprosperity.com.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. And we'll get you all the information about that 7-day seminar.
Yeah, and we'll get you all the information.
It's basically going to be like this live stream for 7 days nonstop of like
on steroids.
Yeah, things that we don't talk about on this type of live stream platform.
Yeah, and we will do a lot of drills so you can recover your knowingness. The purpose is that you can recover your knowingness and control your body, so the body will not be the liability that it is for you right now, because your body is a liability.
Yeah.
You need to feed it. I don't know if you try to throw your body at 30 kilometers per hour or 30 miles per hour against the wall. It doesn't like it. It becomes secondhand.
Yeah.
It didn't like it when I rode it down and slid on pavement. Like, why would it like it if I hit a wall?
Yeah.
Exactly. So how do you fix the body? How do you make sure that you can leave the body without liabilities? Because everyone will need to leave the body because bodies end. So how do you leave the body without liabilities? How do you make sure that while you are alive, the body is not a pain, that you can actually use it, that without the body becoming a liability, without the body becoming a pain? How you do all those things? How do you cure your body? How do you cure someone else's body? Do you want to cure or you don't want? How can you communicate remotely? How can you view remotely things? So remote viewing is a big subject that open up the moment that you know. So this whole subject of remote viewing will be there. So it's a massive seminar, 7 days, intensive, lots of drills. It's amazing. Yes.
Beyond amazing. Okay. So write to us if you're interested. All right. So Anna said, can all spirits do all things? Meaning, do I also just know how to play the piano, but something happened and now I have a consideration that I need to learn it? And also, are there new spirits in today's age? Meaning someone who is now in their very first form.
Okay. So first of all spirit knows. So you know everything. When you know, when you have potential. And spirits, unlike people or stones, are not one spirit, two spirits, five spirits. So there's no new spirits and old spirits. The concept there is a totally different concept. Imagine that there's not one spirit and another spirit and another spirit, and there's no 70 spirit and there's no zero spirit. So what's a spirit? That's what you will need to wrap your head around in order to be able to know. Because for as long as you think as the spirit as 1, 2, 7, you're still not knowing, because you are slave to the physical universe. You're a slave to the physical universe system of evaluation. And to be a spirit, you must get rid of the urge to evaluate. So for as long as you want to evaluate, you don't know. Why do I need to evaluate? Because I don't know.
Powerful. Amazing. John, there is a few more comments, but please, if you want to
No,
go
I
ahead.
suggest we continue doing the comments because they're fantastic as well. There's a lot to get through.
Okay, cool. So, all right. So, first of all, Bridget said, so when we get restimulated, it's not from pictures from past lives. Why do we get restimulated then? And maybe just briefly explain what that means.
So, restimulated means that something turns on and you've got a movie in your head and you act like in this movie, like you becoming an actor in a movie. Mm-hmm. And so the pictures that get restimulated, when something gets restimulated from the past life, so you've got something that you know, you had a mind in this lifetime and this lifetime gone and the mind gone away, but you know it. And when you come to a new life, what you do, you say, okay, fine, the only thing that I have is this memory. So you recreated them, so you have them. You now have them, but they are not restimulated. They are just there as a potential. And when something in the universe happens, they get turned on. And now those pictures are connected one to another. And once you turn on one picture, you turn on a whole movie. And the movie is not 1 hour movie. It's movie of many, 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 many lifetimes. And it contains a lot of energy and it affects you and it makes you go crazy. And you do exactly the opposite of what you know is the right thing to do.
Amazing. Margaret said, can anyone attend either workshop or is there minimum requirements like knowledge?
Anyone can attend it.
Yeah.
Anyone.
There might be, I would suggest maybe it's like watch the gold mine or
we will give you, anyone can attend. Of course, we'll give you something to prepare. We'll give you some preparation. If you don't know any of the nomenclature, then of course you will have a problem. But anyone can attend. We will prepare you, but anyone can attend.
Yeah.
You don't need anything other than being there, because a lot will be drills.
Amazing. Okay. So I'm going to read this bigger question. What about loved ones who visit? Perhaps my knowing in advance or time doesn't exist. My dear friend Sheila came to see me as she was passing, appeared in my mind's eye, and had a conversation with me. She was with her dad, who had passed the year prior. Gave me a message from my husband, who was beside me, and shared what she was experiencing, and said she would always be with me and would see me again, and then she was gone. 10 minutes later, her mom called to tell me she had passed. 25 years later, she still shows up, as do my dad and my husband, in unexpected moments. I know they're still with me, and I will see them again.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
You know,
Yeah.
beautiful. Yeah,
And
powerful.
yeah,
Very
definitely.
good that you are aware like that.
And okay, so I'm just going to go through and find a couple more questions here. Okay. I tried remote viewing exercise before. Very interesting. I saw video slideshow instead of remote viewing of a place.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Very
And
nice.
then there's a few wows, a few love it's, a few can't wait to be at the seminar, etc. Wow.
Okay. I
Okay.
think we are over our time.
Yes. Any final words from either one of you?
Before I met you, none of this, like, there wasn't anything that was even remotely like connected to this. There was no charge on it. There was no nothing. It wasn't a possibility. But in talking with you in previous seminars and in this discussion here, I can see how there's so much of this that impacts us, and how it really has a negative limitation on what we can achieve. And that to me is why the course is so exciting. I'm looking forward to it immensely.
Yeah, absolutely. And Shaked here asked, so
Yalla.
when is it? So
No, he says
he said,
yalla.
yalla, when is it? Yalla.
It's Israeli.
Yeah, it's a
Yalla,
good word for all of you to know.
Yeah, like yalla is a very important word. It's like, yeah, come on, get off your ass.
Yeah.
Come on, let's do it.
Yeah.
Stop with the delays.
Exactly. So
No
he
more
said,
stories.
yalla, when is it?
When is it?
Yeah, good question. So
It seems like August, the second week of August. I will have probably next week an free introductory webinar to explain more about it, etc. I can tell you one thing for sure. Everything you thought about life will change. Everything you thought about death will change. Everything you thought about the mind, even if you've been trained with me for a while, will change, because we're going to go a higher level, much higher level. So
amazing. It's exciting. It's
no
very
gradient.
Yeah. Seatbelt,
Finally!
enjoy the ride.
Yes.
Yes, somebody said goosebumps on that. Wow. Facebook user. And Facebook user also said, thank you, Mayor Gall and John. Always love these Tuesday talks. Looking forward to seeing you in Canada
Thank you.
again. And Jenna said, I can't wait. Jenna, I can't wait to see you there as well. It's
Yes.
going to be amazing.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you,
you, John.
everyone.
Thank you, everyone
Thank
that was
you.
on. And see you at the next
See
one.
you next Tuesday.
Yeah. Bye.
I
I love you.
I love you.
Bye, guys.